Don't settle for a fake snarler when you can have Beard Brothers' premium range of all-natural sausages. Proudly New Zealand made, you'll find them fresh in your local Foursquare, New World and Pack and Save. Beard Brothers, crafted with care, the old school way.
My next guest, she is no stranger to the show. In fact, I waxed lyrical about her yesterday and what a wonderful time we had when we caught up in Taupo over a nice steak and some wine on Friday night. What a night it was. She received the most votes in the local elections over the weekend to retain a position on the council as Lake Taupo Hospice Chief Executive, political commentator. She calls a spade a spade. She's Christine Rankin. Christine, hello.
Hello, Leah. How are you?
Oh, I'm still reflecting on our wonderful evening on Friday, Christine. What a lovely catch up in your beautiful town.
It really was, and it was a time that I got to know you as a person. And Leah, once, and I told you this, someone said to me that I was a force of nature, and I didn't know what it meant, but I was quite chuffed. I knew it was something nice. Having met you, you are a force of nature, and I now absolutely understand what it is, and I have huge admiration. You need to write a book, my girl, my woman, and I think it'll then be made into a movie. Your story is phenomenal, and I bet the people who listen to you out there know nothing about it. It is like no one else's journey I've ever heard of, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, don't make me cry. That's so lovely. I do bore my listeners with a lot of things day to day that go on in my life. Trust me, they know a bit. Before we move on, I also want to say I got to see Boom Boom the dinosaur. I forgot to tell you that. Or did I tell you that?
Yes, and?
Well,
not sure?
Not sure. I mean, the listeners might be aware, as you drive in or out of Taupo, whichever way you're going. Boom Boom is the big silver dinosaur in the park. Was quite expensive. It's big. Do you know what he looks like? Christine, just looks like a blow-up balloon, eh? Is that what he's supposed to look like? Like a silver
He does look like a blow-up balloon. He's not. He's very solid underneath that look of his. But, yeah, he does look like a big balloon. And he looks as though you could just get something and
pop him.
He would deflate. But fortunately, that's not true.
It's an expensive balloon. Anyway, so I met Boom Boom. All right, so I've got to congratulate you, Miss Christine, because Taupō District Council consists of the mayor and 12 councillors, and you topped the vote, young lady. Congrats.
I did.
Brilliant. Yes.
I did, and I'm very grateful to those people. I really am, that have such faith in me. And I carry a lot on my shoulders because they expect me to be brave and to do my job well, and I am determined not to let them down.
Yeah, and you won't.
But it's a big challenge this term. There are massive mountains to climb. And I would say that generally local government, I was going to say, is a bit sick, but it's actually very unwell. So I don't know what will happen in the future. We can't go on the way we have. It's not the way anyone would imagine it. It's a damn tough job, and people do it part-time. It's very complicated. It requires intelligence, and it requires a decent personality. A lot of bullying goes on, a lot of bad behaviour, and a lot of manipulation. And I mean across the country. I'm not talking about Taupo, although things do happen here too. Yes. Absolutely they do. And we have to get this right sometime along the line, because, it's far more important than what central government does, because it affects people's lives on a daily basis. They don't vote. They don't know who the candidates are. They vote the same old people back in, even when they complain and complain and complain. Yeah. Yes. So I don't know what the answer is. And the other thing, Leah, I found out during the campaign, that Elections New Zealand, or whatever they're called, had not contracted with New Zealand Post. They'd contracted with someone else. So lots of people went and put votes in the post box or into the post office, thinking that was where they went. Well, they don't. And the post, only out of the goodness of their heart, took boxes each day to our voting orange bins.
Yeah, where they're supposed to go. Wow. I want to talk a bit about that, but you've got a new mayor, John Fennell. And
we
it was a
have.
tight race because defeated candidates Zane Cozens,
Yep.
incumbent David, is it Trawavis? I'm not sure of his name right.
Travis. Yep.
Travis, and Kevin Taylor. What
Yep.
can you tell us about John Fennell?
Look, he's a local businessman, was a helicopter pilot. He owns a hotel here, done a lot of business, got a little farm, or it might be a big farm, I'm not sure. I shouldn't say a little farm. He's done a lot of things. He's an older man. He's promised a lot to the electorate in terms of some of the Maori issues that are going on here in our JMA. And he's offered a referendum. That's a big thing. It doesn't usually happen in local government, and I'm not sure how we pull it off, and I know it costs a lot. So I honestly don't know how that will happen. And also to keep the rates to the rate of inflation. And let me tell you that the people out there are going to hold him to it. They're all talking about it. They all think their rates are going to be 2.4% or whatever it's running. It's close to 3, isn't it? Whatever it's running at the moment. So I think now there is far more expectation from what people promised, and I am absolutely sure that John is focused on doing what he said. But local government's not easy, and the taxes that the government impose on us to be passed on are far more than 2.6% a year. So it's going to be a challenging time.
Well, as part of the vote, residents chose to abolish the council's Maori ward. Right move in your eyes, Christine?
Look, what I've always said, and I believe in democracy, and I'm sick of being told by people that our old democracy doesn't exist anymore. And I've been given lectures about that, mostly by much younger people than me. Our forefathers fought and died for the democracy we've got, and I'm not giving up on it. And what I said all along is I was never going to tell anyone what I thought about that, because it doesn't matter what I think. Whatever was voted in is what we need to stand by, because that's what we're there for. So I don't think, I think a lot of people in the district are really happy about it, and there'll be those that are very unhappy about it. So it'll probably be a continuing issue. And we have 2 Maori ward councillors still there for the next 3 years. So look, it's hard going, and it was such a split across the country.
It was. And now you touched on, the abysmal turnout, 32.65% roundabout, less than a third, had their say. Local Government New Zealand said the system is broken, urgent reform is needed. You said, what do we do? A couple of fixes that have been suggested, Christine: changing the postal voting system, returning to a traditional polling day, having the Electoral Commission run local elections for consistency. All good ideas?
Absolutely brilliant ideas. We've got to make it easier. We've got to make it more straightforward. We need to condense it down. The damned campaign goes on for weeks. They say it's 6 weeks. Look, it's much longer than that in reality, and everyone gets worn out. They're sick to death of it by the end of the thing, and I think they think, I can't be bothered voting. This is just driving me mad. But I can't believe how many people have said to me, I don't know actually who I voted for, because I kept saying, if you don't know them, do not tick the box. You don't have to tick 7 on that box, which is the area that I was in, the specific area. Tick who you know, tick who you believe in. But people have no idea. And, once you get to sit around that table, you can have a huge influence on a lot of things. So it's not a team. You're individually elected. You're not employed by someone and expected to be part of a team. But there are team pressures put on you, Leah, that you must not step outside the circle. It's not good if you do. And some people that do get a hell of a time. So, look, it's unwell. I will still say it's unwell. I have great hopes for this term, but I have no idea.
Well, I mentioned it on my show yesterday that, a lot of people I speak to in my circle that aren't interested so much in politics as obviously, what I talk about here and my listeners, and you're submerged in it. We all are. We are. But I've got friends that have said, look, I don't even know who these people are. All I just see is billboards with people's smiley faces. It is, I always think you've got to think about the people are getting on with their lives. They just want to get up, go to work, get the kids to school. Park in my driveway, and then they don't think about. Oh, now who is that person up on that billboard? I mean, we all should, because it's so important. But they don't understand. They don't understand, Christine. And I'm not being rude.
Yeah.
That there are people out there that just. I'm not saying they're dumb. How do we make it so that the majority understands what's at stake here?
Don't settle for a fake snarler when you can have Beard Brothers' premium range of all-natural sausages. Proudly New Zealand made, you'll find them fresh in your local Foursquare, New World and Pack and Save. Beard Brothers, crafted with care the old school way.